Hi, my name is Harini, and I'll be giving an overview of our paper on intersectional feminist and participatory machine learning. This work is also the product of many wonderful collaborators whose photos you see here. So work in data ethics, fairness, and related areas often focuses on mitigating bias in harmful systems, making algorithms fair or transparent, or performing retroactive audits. This work is certainly a promising direction for the field. However, these sorts of approaches typically locate the source of injustice in individual people or specific technical systems, and solutions that emerge often take the form of what's been called technological band-aids. Other framings of data and algorithms have emerged that are rooted in considerations of power and justice. These trace the root cause of biased systems instead to the deeper structural inequalities in which data-driven systems are embedded. Inspired by this framing, our work is a shift from retroactive audits of potentially flawed systems to designing with a goal of co-liberation from the start. We look to feminist and participatory methods as a guide, asking how we can meaningfully apply them throughout the entire machine learning lifecycle to conceptualize and design machine learning tools that center and aim to challenge power inequalities. So the problem we're focused on here is the prevalence of feminicide, which is broadly understood to mean the gender-based killings of women and girls. Unfortunately, even though feminicide is prevalent, official government data about it remains incomplete and inaccurate, and can be understood as missing data that masks the structural nature of this violence. In the case of feminicide, civil society organizations have stepped in to fill these gaps, performing counter data collection as a way to challenge and reclaim power. These activists typically find cases to record through media articles, but a consistent issue is that many of the articles retrieved with search queries aren't actually relevant. So in practice, they spend a lot of time reading articles that are not instances of feminicide, but that might describe other violent or traumatizing events, which is both emotionally taxing and time-consuming. Through co-design sessions with activists, we developed an email alert system that uses machine learning models to help find more relevant articles and reduce the burden of this work. During the initial pilot of the system, we found it worked well for groups broadly tracking feminicides in a region, but not for these two groups who focus on monitoring specific intersectional types of violence. A commitment to intersectionality means that systems should work not only for the mainstream majority use case, but also for those on the margins. And our paper here is specifically focused on our resulting development process to improve the system for these intersectional use cases. We encourage checking out our longer presentation and paper where we describe our methodological contributions and how intersectional feminist goals, such as challenging power, considering context, and embracing pluralism, shaped each step. To give a super quick overview, from the start, we choose to work with a very varied group of counter-data activists and focus on making the system work well for all of them. We perform an iterative and participatory data collection process, incorporating both context-specific positive and negative examples. And we develop an annotation scheme that helps define intersectional identities and incorporate the societal context into the models. We develop a modeling approach that explicitly takes into account how these intersectional contexts manifest and are written about in unique ways. And finally, we perform a multi-step evaluation process with quantitative, qualitative, and participatory steps focused on context-specific relevance. We hope that in addition to illustrating our approach to the specific case study, this work is also able to provide inspiration for how to mobilize intersectional feminist values and technology more generally. And we hope to discuss it further with many of you.